Hello, pals. Come see me do stand-up. I'm going to be at Comedy on State in Madison, Wisconsin, July 18th, 19th, and 20th. Then I'm going to be at the Helium Comedy Club in Buffalo, New York, August 8th, 9th, and 10th. Then you can find me at Side Splitters in Tampa, August 16th through the 17th, and I'll be at the Wilbur in Boston in November. Lots of other dates coming up. You can find all those dates at duncantrussell.com. Welcome to the DTFH. Today we're going to do something interesting. As you know, I innovated video podcasting. Before I started doing video podcasts, no one was doing it. Now, just look up video podcasts. Everyone's got one. Everyone's doing it, and I'm honored and I love it. I didn't want this just to be for me. I wanted every podcaster to do video. And much like other great innovators in history, when I told people, I think people might want to watch podcasts. They don't want to just listen. I was bullied, threatened, extorted, attacked, kidnapped. I had to escape from someone who kidnapped me, and imprisoned. But the charges were nonsense. And uncorroborated evidence. It's a long story. It'll probably show up in the press. The point is, I pushed through and I brought you video podcasts. I've had another epiphany. I think that people would enjoy watching other people get ready, do things like get dressed, put on makeup, brush their teeth, or even shave their head. I'm pretty sure that the getting ready genre of content is going to explode after what you're about to watch. I just know that of all the things people want and need on this planet, there is deep inside all of us a desire to watch folks get ready to do things like comb their hair, comb their beard, shave their head. And so I offer this to you. I would like you, for this episode of the DTFH, to get ready with me.
Get ready with me, with me. Watch me, you don't have to peep. No more sliding over fences to watch strangers as they sleep. 'Cause now we got technology to help us live vicariously. No more stealing pennies as we slither through the streets. So be a peeping creeper and get ready with me.
Okay, so what I'm doing right now is something called chunking. Somebody explained it to me that if you're busy, you should find a way to do two things simultaneously. So as you can see, I let my hair grow out too much, and maybe it doesn't seem like it's grown out a lot. But once you start shaving your head, you just want it like bald, completely bald. It feels good. Like, I understand why monks do this stuff. So I have to start with this. It's my wife's pussy shaver, and she does not like that I'm using it. I defined it. She hid it underneath the cabinet because she doesn't want me to use her pussy shaver on my head. And I don't blame her. Also, the other thing is, like, the amount of mess that I make doing this is completely horrific. Like, horrific. It's terrible, the mess that I could potentially leave behind, but we're gonna really work hard to clean up the fucking hair. Oh my god, I can't put this off anymore. Like, if you keep on top of shaving your head, you don't have to use your wife's pussy shaver. You can just use this next thing that I'm gonna show you that Segura gave me. It is fucking incredible. And this isn't an ad for that thing. P.S. Oh, God, it feels so good. Now, I don't know, because I'm new to shaving my head. Like, many of you balds might be watching this technique and be, like, thinking I'm out of my fucking board. I'm pretty sure I'm doing it wrong. Do I use shaving cream at this point, or should I just be doing it dry? I don't know. But it doesn't feel great at all. And as you can see, those little red patches emerging, a lot of gross, like dry skin. Look, you can see this is what dandruff is. It's fucking dry skin on your scalp. Ugh. I like the sound it makes. But what I really like about it is that I don't have to worry about my hair anymore. Like, I know aesthetically, it's probably pretty disgusting. I think people probably look at me and they don't like it. In fact, Ron White told me that I look better with hair. With a little bit of hair up there. But I don't like it, man. Like, once you go bald, you just want it completely shaved. Look at this. Ugh. God. Just pubes. It's summer in Texas, friends. It's hotter than a rattlesnake on hell's... It's summer in Texas, friends, and that means I'm sweating like a greased pig that got lost in Dante's Inferno. I need all the nutrients I can get, which is why I depend on AG1. This powder, this glorious powder, gives me so much energy. It makes me feel so good, and it's so easy. All you got to do, open one of these sweet AG1 packets. Oh, look at the dust. You want to breathe it in. Smells good. Just pour this sweet nectar into my special AG1 glass, which is made of radium. Then I pour it in there, just like that. And then I mix this baby up with my special AG1 mixing spoon that was stolen from the Vatican by my great-grandfather. This is the very spoon that fed Einstein. So then I swirl it all around, and it's time for me to get all the freaking vitamins I need. No more vitamin organizing. I can't remember anything anymore. AG1 solved that problem. For all of you aging stoners out there who maybe can't remember to take your vitamins, this is a dream come true. Smells good, tastes better. That's it. Already, I can feel my body celebrating at the atomic level. I can feel my mitochondrial DNA exploding rainbows. I can feel my third eye opening. And none of this, by the way, is what I'm supposed to read for AG1. If you want the science behind it, I'll give it to you. AG1 delivers your daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, and more. It's a powerfully healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. That's the main thing. This is for us. They know us. They want us to be healthy, but they know that we're not going to remember to take our vitamins, and we like stuff that tastes good. And that's why I like AG1. It literally gives you all you need. And you're going to feel it every day when you drink this glorious nectar. Feels like you're drinking right from the fountain of youth, my friends. Feels like you're drinking from the Grail cup. It feels like you are taking a sip from a silver goblet filled with the tears of unicorns. This stuff is incredible. And again, that's not what they wanted me to read. I'm just telling you, it makes me feel really good. So I'd recommend this. If you want to feel better, if you want to elevate your health, it's AG1. That's why I've partnered with them forever. So if you want to take ownership of your health, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs. That's what this little baby is. With your first purchase at drinkag1.com/Duncan. That's drinkag1.com/Duncan. Check it out. I said Duncan, not Junkin. My aunt used to call me Junkin. drinkag1.com/Duncan. Thank you, AG1. I have green shit all over my beard. It actually, I think my wife's pussy shaver has gotten dull. I don't blame her. I mean, this is part of being married. It's like you end up sharing stuff that and you shouldn't be sharing. But the reality is that I wanted to get my head cleaned up today. And it ends up being this long process because I let it go. And hopefully I'm going to cut some of this out. This cannot be scintillating content for you guys. Jesus Christ. When I had hair, I would watch like the sort of trope that you see in military films where the new recruit gets their head shaved and I feel so bad for them. But now I get it. It's the best. Like, I totally understand why monks do this. Because if you really want to simplify your life, an easy place to start is your hair. Like, Marie Kondo the shit out of your hair. Like, if you're balding, even if you're not, this removes this incredible time sink. Like, for most people, hair eats up an insane amount of time. Like, the amount of time we spend putting shampoo and products into the fucking protein strands that for whatever reason our scalps think that they need to make. And let me tell you, I get it. Like, if I was like in Antarctica or something, hair is an added benefit. But in Texas, Jesus Christ, and this beard, oh, this is not a Texas summer beard. That thing has got to get shaved down. But I'm always going to keep the beard. And if somebody wrote a comment saying, I wonder what he looks like without a beard. If you want to know what I look like without a beard, just Google stork. I barely have a chin. So basically, the Lord decided that it would be a funny thing to do a crop circle here at the top of my head. That kind of bald patch. And to give me no chin. But it maybe feeling sorry for me. He was like, but let's make it so you can grow an insane fucking beard. So thank you, Jesus, for that, I guess. Not so much for making my hair get thin. I mean, I think I could still pull off hair, but it doesn't look good. Like, see right here? This part, the receding tide, just going back. Sometimes, like, I think about evolutionary biology, and I really shouldn't, because I don't know anything about it, but that's never stopped me from thinking about things before. But you gotta wonder, like, why make male pattern baldness? Like, why does that even exist? And I wonder if it has something to do with, like, the universe not wanting old dads. Like, if the idea is, like, it's some kind of warning sign to potential mates, like, dude, watch out, this guy is fucking old. You don't want to, if he gets you pregnant, he's going to keel over at the next hunt. And then what are you going to do? You're going to let some other member of your tribe raise the kid? Which actually is what the good thing about being in a tribe, I think. Is probably the answer is yeah. But I don't know. It's just so interesting that for some of us, our scalps are just like, it have little like time bombs in them built in. And just out of the blue, she starts falling out. And it haunts dudes. You can't even imagine. If you're somebody with a full head of hair, you can't even imagine what that feels like when you watch it start going. And they've placed all this value in it. And you feel like if your hair falls out, you're never going to have sex again. You feel like people are going to laugh at you and jeer at you and make fun of you. And it fucks your head, man. And so a lot of us, me included, we fight against it. And I did. I got on this shit called finasteride. Now, where I really messed up is this is when I was living in LA. And one of my friends who was addicted to prescription meds told me that he'd found a pill mill. Now, if you don't know what that is, basically it's a place where the doctor will prescribe anything to you and doesn't really care if you're a junkie. And so these places get really popular. And doctors know that, so some doctors just take the risk and they will just prescribe anything to you. This is like those pain clinics. Remember that? Before the Sacklers went down, the Oxy pain clinics, you drive through Florida and all these things called pain clinics. And you go in there and you're like, dude, my arm is killing me. And I'm like, why are you in line? You don't care. Here's pills. And so this is one of those. The pain clinic actually had a pharmacy in the clinic. So the doctor was like doubling down. He was not just like getting money for the appointments, but he was getting money for the pharmacy too. He got arrested. He went to jail. But I went in there and I was so delighted because I'd never been to a pill mill before. I'd always had to like lie to a doctor if I wanted to get some kind of narcotic. And so I wasn't coming in there though for narcotics. I was coming in there for this stuff that I'd read about called modafinil, which I'd heard that fighter pilots were taking it and that somehow it made you like not need sleep anymore. Like it completely took that part of your brain that was refreshed from sleep and refreshed it. That was the story. Pharmaceutical companies are really fucking good at PR. So I told him I wanted some modafinil, and I'll never forget it. He goes, what dose? Like, he didn't even know the dose. And I'm like, I have no idea. I just read about this on a message board. And so he like Googles in his phone what the dose should be. Writes me a prescription for modafinil and then goes, do you need anything else? I'm like, oh yeah, finasteride. That stuff that makes your hair grow back. And so he wrote me a prescription for that. And like, I would take it. It did not make my hair start growing back. But what it did do is it took away my sex drive. But the other thing that happened, not long after I was taking it, maybe like 8 months or something, is I got testicular cancer. And it is connected to testicular cancer. There's no way I'll ever know if that's why. But this is how absolutely crazy people go from losing their hair. Like, you just want to hang on to it. Some dudes go and get hair plugs. I'm not judging any of you out there, by the way, who are trying to hold on to your beautiful locks. If it works, it works. Like, I get it. It used to be a thing in LA. Maybe it still is. If you don't have good hair, you'll never work in LA. And this is like one of the wonderful gifts of podcasts. And what we do now is we don't have to worry about those stupid fucking rules anymore. Like, shaving your head used to be a death sentence out there. And maybe it still is. I don't know. I'm not an actor. But this is such a liberating experience for me because I just don't care. And maybe that's part of like having kids or something like that, is you just, you don't care. Oh shit. There you go. Now this is the thing Segura gave me. This is a Pitbull is what it's called. And so for my balds out there who've been struggling, this thing is amazing. This slide it along the greasy top of your head like this, and it just gets it right off. Before I was using this, I was using one of the manscapers that is really advertised not for doing this. It's for your balls, not your head. And it worked, but it was a really slow, but look, it was a slow process. This just like gets it right the fuck off. It's so nice. And again, for like professional balls out there, would love your tips. Like, what am I doing wrong here? And am I supposed to use more shaving cream? Am I supposed to be using water? Ooh, I feel like a different kind of shaving cream, because like I didn't want it, but I was at Whole Foods and I got woke shaving cream, which I really don't like. I like the nice white shit, but they don't sell that. So I ended up getting the Bulldog. Not, by the way, none of this is a commercial. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. See the red streaks here and stuff? That's because I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, this is like so nice. Once you get to this phase of the operation, this is the best. It's actually quite a satisfying feeling. Highly recommend it. I mean, why do monks do this? Why? Why would you see like a Buddhist monk? Do they have a shaved head? I don't know. I imagine it's not just like the recognition that you put too much ego into your hair. It's probably like lice. Living in a monastery, getting rid of your hair maybe keeps the lice issue down. Probably some more like pragmatic reason, but for sure, taking something that you are obsessing over and just eliminating it from the equation, and then going out into the world with a fucking bald head for the first time is a rush. Like, people definitely double take, and a lot of people won't recognize you anymore, which was pretty interesting for me. Like, I mean, in my family, like, I would be walking behind someone, they wouldn't know I was there. Like my wife or my kids, they turn around to see me and be like, Jesus Christ. That's fun. I mean, I say, as a spiritual exercise, do it. If you have any kind of hair neurosis. Also, my God, think about how much money you save. Haircuts are fucking expensive. Or they can be. To do it yourself. And though I do love my barber, Kirby the Barber, by the way, not sponsored, but if you live in Austin and you're looking for a good like beard trim or haircut, he's the best. He works out of this cool little house. He's awesome. We have the best conversations. It's kind of sad when I got him to shave my head because I knew that like I'll be spending less time with him. And I was having such a blast getting to know him and his kid, Kirby Jr. and Kirby Sr. They both tie hair, and they're both cool as fuck. But there is something so empowering about not having to go to some fucking place whenever your protein strands get too long. And just the joy of not having to comb your hair. Not having to worry about, does my hair look okay? Oh, I hope my hair looks good. You know? Ugh. It's like the last little part of us that's like truly monkey. That last little part, we want to like tame it. You can't have messy fucking hair. You can, but people judge you. Your protein strands aren't arranged properly. Are you sick? Now, you'll notice the gray aliens, they don't have hair. It would be hilarious if they did. But if you buy the idea, which is a really funny one, that they are us from the future, that the gray aliens are time travelers coming back to study the past, well, at some point they realize we gotta stop with this fucking hair bullshit. It's a waste of time. We need to be working on our time crystal processing units, not rubbing conditioner into our hair. And look, I'm going to tell you, for all you guys out there with like beautiful heads of hair, I'm jealous. I would love it. I'd love to have like really long hair. I'd love to do that embarrassing top bun thing. I'm cheesy. Like I would do that. Braid my hair. It would be so fun. So I'm jealous. So I'm not talking shit about you guys at all. You're lucky. But one thing that I have that you don't have now is I don't have to like deal with that shit. Like while you guys are like putting gel in your hair, trying to form it in some nice way, trying to like do some weird shit with your fucking protein strands. This is it. I just have to do this every couple of weeks. Pure liberation. But what you have that I don't have is hair. And that's pretty great. You don't experience what it's like when you're sitting at a coffee shop writing and people are side-eyeing you and looking at your shoes to try to figure out if you're a skinhead. Thank you, BetterHelp, for supporting the DTFH. My friends, I know what you think because I used to think it too. Here's the idea. Something's bothering you. So rather than deal with it, what do? You sweep it under the proverbial rug. Stuff it, shove it, put it in the mind trunk, lock it in the consciousness safe, tie a bowling ball to it and throw it into the ocean of forgotten memories. That's the idea. But much like Interview with a Vampire, which I highly recommend the new series, one of the vampires, sorry if this is a spoiler, doesn't dispose of bodies correctly. And there's a storm. And then all the bodies that they thought that they were hiding washed up. This is what happens. You can't stuff it. It doesn't work. That stuff is still alive down there. It's like, you know that thing, people started flushing little baby alligators in the New York sewers, and now supposedly there's like giant alligators down there. This is what happens to us. You think it's a baby alligator, whatever. Something weird happened. Maybe it wasn't that big a deal, and you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to flush it down the toilet of my mind. And it grows in your subconscious. It grows and becomes a behemoth that explodes out of you at weird times when you're drinking at parties. This is not how you want to live. Therapy helped me with this. And I used to not really believe in it. And I got a bachelor's degree, not to brag, in psychology. But I went through a sort of cynical period and just didn't want to do it, even though I knew I probably should, because it's a lot like the gym. At first you don't want to go, but once you get going, you're so glad you did it. Try it. You will love it. If you're thinking about trying therapy, BetterHelp is what you want to use. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Duncan today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Duncan. Thank you, BetterHelp. Which isn't that fun. Supposedly there's some women who like balds, but I think that's a myth. I don't know if that's true. That seems like a dream that a bald whipped up. But maybe it's true, I don't know. My wife says she likes it, but she loves me. So, would, I even have kids now? If this had been what my hair looked like when I met her? I don't know. But do this. If you are a balding person who has been kicking the can down the road, and you know it's becoming undeniable, and you're starting to wake up feeling rotten, and you're wearing hats all the time, and you're thinking about it more than you're telling anybody, and you're using it as another thing to feel bad about yourself. I know that you feel like doing this is the apocalypse. At least that's what it felt like for me. Like a long time ago, I did this sketch where I had to put on a ball cap, like a makeup person did it for me. And I remember looking at myself, knowing one day that would be my head, because my dad has male pattern baldness, my brother, most people in my family. And I felt so sad. But like, Rogan would always say, just shave it, dude. Just get rid of it. Trust me. And I would always joke with him, like, I guess that's like what every cult leader says, shave your head. And I had to listen to him because I don't know. You have this crazy dream that just maybe one day you're going to wake up and it's growing back. You're going to wake up and it's there. Or some new medicine will come out and you can use it to grow your hair back. And so you just kick that can down the road. I mean, I even thought about it. Some people were saying, why don't you go to like Turkey? I think they were saying Turkey is where you can get these hair plugs. I thought about it. Like, that's how crazy it makes you. Like, I thought about getting on a plane, flying to Turkey to have the ample amount of hair on my back transplanted into the top of my fucking head. Like, this is how deep hair is, like, rooted in identity. I kicked the idea around. And then I realized, like, I'm a fucking comedian. Like, I'm not a model. I'm not an actor. Why do I need long flowing locks? So I did it. It's like Ram Dass, when he gave me spiritual advice, it was get therapy. And I ignored that too. And I wish I didn't. Because when I finally got therapy, it made me feel so much better. It changed my life. Rogan, over and over, shave your head, you'll feel better. Didn't listen. Should've. Like, if you shave your head and you lose someone over that, then you have rescued yourself from a vapid, shallow demon person. Because fuck them. Fuck them forever. If having a shaved head, like, repulses girlfriends, boyfriends from your life, good. Fuck them. That's not who you want anyway. Because if someone is, like, deciding to fuck you or spend time with you or marry you or have kids with you because you have great hair, you're doomed. You are doomed. You might as well tie a giant tube of conditioner to your body and jump into the ocean. Because anybody who's into you for your hair, your symmetry, like, that's dangerous. No judgment, though. I get it. Symmetry's powerful. You know, by symmetry, I mean, like, beauty. Which, by the way, you should look this up. It's really interesting. You know, everyone talks about privilege, white privilege. But there's a new conversation, which I think is probably more to the point, which is beauty privilege. You should look that up. That, like, if you happen to be a beautiful, physically beautiful person, you experience a completely different reality than most people. You're used to it. It seems normal. But for us asymmetrical people, holy shit, you have no idea. We get sentenced to, we would tend to get sentenced to, like, longer jail terms. We get 60% fewer blowjobs in an average lifetime. We get, like, stranded bar syndrome, SBS, which is where you're at the bar with your, like, handsome friends and they go and talk to beautiful ladies while you sit there drinking your beer. Watching them. But there's a really cool meme that I saw. It's like this, like, beautiful drawing of a beautiful woman. It's representing, like, an AI girlfriend. Beautiful woman talking to you. And then, like, it's connected to this, like, weird fucking demonic looking, like, body. Because, like, when you're talking to AI, like, who are you talking to? It's imitating humanity, but you don't know what's going on down there. And that's true with everybody. But with, like, asymmetrical people, we always, like, sort of project on them something we don't project on beautiful people. We accidentally, like, project morality onto symmetry and lack of morality on asymmetry. There was a whole thing called phrenology. Look it up. It's not exactly the same thing, but where they said there was a certain, like, look that criminals have. I think what's happening since you're a little kid, you watch Disney cartoons, and the bad guys are always asymmetrical, and the good guys are always fucking beautiful most of the time. Anyway. The other reality is that if you're obsessed with finding a mate, though I don't blame you, because it feels so good. I don't know who's around the bathroom right now. You accidentally become repulsive. That shit is true. Regardless of your symmetry or lack of it, like, you're all sweaty and horny. That's like a crucifix to vampires. It just drives people away. And it's so weird and so counterintuitive that the best way to find somebody is to not want somebody. It's like, how the fuck do you execute that when you are so horny that you're, like, having nocturnal emissions in your 40s? Like, 100% of the time, anytime I've met anyone in my own life, I was never really looking. Like, I didn't have that. I was always interested, but I never had that. I'm so fucking horny. Then, you know, I wasn't in a Tinder phase where you're just, like, swiping on Tinder. Please God, please God. It's like right when that shit sort of burnt out and I stopped caring, almost immediately somebody shows up. Oh, shit. Shave your head. Even if you do have beautiful hair. See what it's like. Wait, before I clean this up, let me just show you the nightmare of wives, girlfriends. Look, let me show you this. Try to film this. Cheers. Do you see that? Like, we leave that shit everywhere. And it's worse than like having a cat. It's worse than a cat shedding. It looks like, it looks demonic. Like, it looks like I shaved an infant ear. And the cleaning it is such a pain in the ass. And for a lot of us guys, like what's happening is we're in a super hurry if we're shaving. And so we legitimately probably think, when I get back, I'll clean that up. And you just leave, like, it looks like a warlock was shaving a baby imp, and you leave that there. You leave your pubes all over the toilet. By you, I mean me. I mean, this is what I do. I'm as above, so below. I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there who clean up your beard hair and your pubes. I've never been one of them. And it's bad. I'll admit it. I mean, it could be some kind of like primordial, ancient, like marking my territory thing. I don't know how much of that stuff is happening underneath it all. You're just like, oh, I'm just kind of messy. But it's like you're really like leaving your stink about is some form of marking your territory. I'll be right back. I mean, like, when you leave dribbles of piss on the toilet at a restaurant. Like, maybe you just think, well, it's already messy or whatever. There was other dribbles of piss. But really, it's some deep weird level. You're like, must mark this toilet is mine. How much? It's really scary. Like, I don't know how much you guys look into free will, personal autonomy. How much of what we do is a legitimate autonomous choice, and how much of it is steered by our gut biome, by our DNA. Like, it gets scary. It gets really scary, especially I never looked this up, but I heard this terrible research was done where they found out that by the time you're making a decision, it's some deeper part of the brain, you've already made it. And it's somewhere in between your brain deciding, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't wear a condom. I know I just met her, but she seems cool. And you being like, hey, do you mind if I don't wear a condom? Like, there's maybe something in between that gives you a feeling that you came up with that idea when it wasn't you. It was like some just deeper part of your brain that's like, let's just make babies. I don't care how it happens. We have to spread our DNA. But you saw it, you're like having fun, you're wild. You're out there having an adventure, barebacking hotties that you met at the fucking record store. But really, you're not doing anything at all. You're just being driven by something much deeper than you that wants to spread itself into time-space any way it fucking can. And so you invent a story about it. How disgusting this is. And I'm still cleaning this up. Like, if I stopped now, I would still leave a nice smattering of tiny little head hairs everywhere. I want to thank Rocket Money for supporting the DTFH. Friends, if you're like me, then you have probably subscribed to like 20 various artificial intelligence art apps. I certainly have, and I lose track of all of them, which is why Rocket Money is a lifesaver. This app is incredible. It will go through and find all of your unwanted subscriptions, and it will even help you cancel them. For someone like me, that is a lot of money, just a lot of money. Like somebody who has like a wound that's just oozing blood. When you see that in a movie, they're dead meat. This is what I was like before Rocket Money, only it wasn't blood, it was cash, and it wasn't a wound. It was my stoner subscriptions that I had forgotten about. And it's a pain in the ass. Do you want to go and figure out what all your subscriptions are and unsubscribe? No. This is where Rocket Money comes in. It does it all for you. Also, it's a finance app, and it's a really good one. It tells you how much you're spending every month, helps you save. It's incredible. For somebody with 3 freaking kids, I need something like this so I can stay on top of how much dough I'm blowing on modular synthesizers and camera equipment. Rocket Money is a lifesaver, and it really has become a part of my life. They email you and let you know how much money you're spending. They let you know if like suddenly like a lot of money comes out of your account, which is really useful these days because, you know, if you're like me and you're somebody who subscribes to weird AI apps, then you're probably somebody who also gets hacked occasionally, and you want to know if somebody is siphoning your dough in some other country and using it to create some kind of bioweapon. That could happen. Don't be part of that. Don't let your hard-earned money go towards eco-terrorists living in Scandinavia. Rocket Money is a personal finance app. It helps you cancel subscriptions. They have over 5 million users, and they have saved over $500 million in canceled subscriptions for these people. Rocket Money, they're heroes. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Duncan. That's rocketmoney.com/Duncan. rocketmoney.com/Duncan. Thank you, Rocket Money. Oh, yeah. I used to not do this. I have really tormented so many girlfriends with my pubic hair. And I'll pay for it. If there is karma, that's going to come back and haunt me. For sure. Probably being reincarnated as a pubic lice. Crabs. Did I ever tell you guys the time I got crabs? I should tell you that story. It's really fucked up. I feel like I've already told it, though. I was tricked. That's how I got crabs. I was tricked. But not really. You know, they did say, I think they told me they had scabies under their breath. And I didn't know what that meant, but I was super horny. And then we went to us. This was when I was really off the rails. This was in North Carolina. We went to just a shitty hotel. And she said, "Do you have a razor?" Now, the reason she wanted that was because she was thinking she could shave her pussy and that would get rid of the pubic lice. But no, it would have probably just made them more visible to me. You would have seen them because they sort of they spread out and dig their claws in and just, and it is I think Alien was based on crab lice, would be my guess. That's essentially what the alien is it's crabs. It's like pubic lice in space. It gets on spaceships, it reproduces, it spreads, and it looks like very pubic louse, like a sort of armored, acid-spitting pubic louse. But yeah, I just had sex with her, and a few days later, started itching. Now, back then, shaving your pubes was not in fashion like it is today. It happened, but these days, everyone's doing it. They're saying crab lice are potentially going extinct. So I can't even imagine what my bush looked back then. I can't even imagine. It just must have been insane. So it was the Amazon rainforest for these things. They were thank you, God, for delivering us to this promised land. Lots of shade, lots of trees, pubic trees to suckle next to. And yeah, it was crazy. If you've never had them, You can't imagine. It's disgusting. You feel completely disgusting. And for me, like, the reason I got them was like because I was being disgusting. And because the person that transmitted these things to me was promiscuous. It's weird to hear my baby back there when I'm telling this story. Like, everybody, I would like, at this cafe I used to go to, I would look at people who I knew had like dated her and they are like hitching their crotches. It was a real secret epidemic that hit Asheville, North Carolina. Okay, we're gonna go back to my studio now. It just feels so good now. Like I feel clean, purified, ready to do just about anything. I mean, I don't want to say it's like necessarily courageous to shave your head, but something about it is like, makes you feel like you've done something brave. Like you've prepared yourself for the world. You're ready to get out there. You're ready to make things happen. All of us probably have some aspect of our lives that we would like to improve in some way. Some aspect of our lives that we would like to improve, make better. And whatever that might be, it's worth sacrificing something, giving something up. It's crazy how the universe works like that. That quite often, if you really want something, you have to give away something. And that just seems to be built into the framework of the universe. You want to lose weight, what do you got to give up? Food. You want to get better at something? What do you have to give up? Time. And so, like, of all the things to give up, hair is the easiest, it seems like. I mean, outside of the social stigma attached to it. So, maybe it's time for you to find something this summer that you can give up. And do it as an offering to God, to the universe, to source, or just to your own life. And you never know. Good things can come from it. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'll see you next week. Until then,